Do you want to do the usual order where you say welcome to Big Things and then I say this is our show, or do you want to flip it?
I'm down for that. Welcome to Big Things. I'm Mitzi. This is Mike.
And this is our show where we talk about the things that we're seeing in marketing, social media, pop culture, and sports, and the signals that we're watching that could influence the future of digital marketing.
Today, we're going to be talking about a few big things. First one being that Beyoncé is performing the halftime Christmas Day NFL game. Volvo and Jaguar made us cry this week, but for two very different reasons. And Smirnoff names Troye Sivan as its chief vibes officer.
This is going to be an action-packed episode.
I know, lots of car talk already.
I know you're in slippers today, and usually I'm the one in the so-called slippers, but today I wore the Gore-Tex Solomons in honor of my surviving winter checklist.
Your winter tips, which came just in time because we are in a winter wonderland.
Yeah, it's true. And there's a snowfall warning for this weekend.
Yeah, 10 inches, right?
Yeah, like 5 to 10. It was like 15 to 25 centimeters or something like that.
That's crazy.
So if the math is mathing, we could have up to 10 inches of snow in the next 24 hours.
Yikes.
I mean, if it's going to be cold, it may as well be snowy. That's what I always say.
I'm ready for it. I feel like we're all in denial that winter is like a big part of our lives. And then it happens. And I think I'm going to embrace it this year.
Yeah, me too. I think, and so far we've been inside mostly. I think this weekend I was processing that I feel like I need to get the kids outside a bit more.
Yeah, you guys should make a snowman.
Yeah. Make a snowman, dig some caves, and build a fort.
Yeah,
wander
kids
around,
would love that.
Throw some snowballs.
I'll just have the hot chocolate ready for you.
I feel like I
guys.
need to start conditioning Timo to get some snowballs in the face and be ready for the recess playground, you know?
Not my
that
little
kind of thing.
prince.
He'll probably like it. Elena would hate it.
Yeah.
But our son would probably like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so catch me outside this weekend in the fluffy snow.
All right, I'll see you from the window.
You can make some hot chocolate.
Yeah, sounds good.
Cook it up.
Should we talk about Beyoncé again?
Yes.
Are you sick of talking about her?
As we were prepping the script, I was like, I wonder how often we'll talk about Beyonce. But I mean, she deserves it.
That's a good answer. She does. And this combines all your favorite things with all my favorite things. And that is that Beyoncé is performing at halftime for Netflix's first ever NFL Christmas Day broadcast. Big news. So the game features the Cowboys versus the Ravens, which will be streamed live on Netflix. And this is a huge get for Netflix, who reportedly paid $150 million for the global rights to the Christmas Day games. So that's 2 games total, which are about $75 million each. Although the details of the NFL Christmas Gameday performance on Netflix are currently under wraps, Beyoncé is expected to bring along some special guests who are featured in Cowboy Carter, which is her latest.
My guy.
I'm sure Shabuzi will be there. Maybe
I'm pretty sure
Posty.
I saw that Shabuzi got snubbed at the CMAs. And there's like some semi like racist comments from stage.
I was just going to say it's giving racism.
Yeah. That sucks.
Yeah, that does suck. Well, hopefully Shabuzi will be at the NFL halftime show. I keep saying NFL halftime show. It's not like the NFL halftime show. It's the Christmas Day NFL halftime show.
Which NFL on Christmas Day is pretty lit.
Yeah,
it's always fun. It's similar to NFL on Thanksgiving. I don't know if you've seen this in the last couple of years as you started to pay more attention to football, but a big Thanksgiving tradition is the winning team on Thanksgiving Day gets to eat these huge like drumsticks.
Yeah, I did see that. Turkey legs?
Yeah, turkey legs. So I feel like Thanksgiving in the NFL and Christmas in the NFL are both like goated traditional experiences.
Wow, I could go for a turkey leg right now.
You're huge on the protein this month.
I'm all about the meat. Well,
Yeah, you are.
Stop.
I'm surprised we're not doing like ribeye steak tonight. I feel like we're on a steak, on a roll with steak.
Ribs and a turkey leg right now.
Just for an afternoon snack.
I'd be so down. Well, this is a huge get for Netflix. I'm obviously thrilled to see Beyoncé on stage at an NFL game, like where she belongs. She's done a few halftime shows for Super Bowl.
Right.
And I'm excited, like, who's she going to bring out? What's it all going to be like?
In addition to the excitement around her, it's pretty cool that she's bringing guests. That's always so fun.
Yeah.
And people were obviously so disappointed when she showed up at a Kamala Harris rally and then didn't perform. So I feel like this is retribution for all those people that missed out. But I think it's kind of crazy work for Netflix to pay $150 million just for the whole game to be buffering on their live stream. Because that Mike Tyson and Jake Paul fight was terrible.
Really? I know you were trying to watch it. Did you end up watching any of it?
I saw a little bit on Twitter, like people's streams on their X profiles from like seats in the stadium were better than the Netflix stream.
That sucks.
Antonio Brown, speaking of the NFL, he live streamed on X from where he was sitting, and it had like 5 million viewers or something like that.
That's
because
crazy.
people couldn't access the Netflix stream.
That's my biggest concern here. Like
I know,
the
me
time
too.
that Netflix has done live streaming, although the idea and the concept, like I'm all for the Love is Blind reunion, which I know you didn't try to stream at all. But when we
I
were
think I was
trying,
with you though,
really
trying to watch it.
couldn't watch it. It was like, I think maybe the first of the live streaming like attempts that they've had. And it was terrible. So I'm very concerned that we'll miss some of it. But I mean, there will be a replay, obviously.
Yeah, I guess. I sometimes wonder too if we get the short end of the stick in Canada. Like, is it worse for us in Canada than it is for people in the US?
Probably.
I feel like there's got to be like some prioritization scheme.
Yeah. They would never tell.
And I thought it was even kind of petty by Netflix too, because when we were trying to access the Mike Tyson and Jake Paul fight, they kept kind of gaslighting us as if it was our Wi-Fi and getting us to
Yeah.
troubleshoot our Wi-Fi connection. And then every time we'd be like, your Wi-Fi is fast.
Yeah.
And then we'd try to reconnect and it would still just buffer at 25%.
We all had to be like off our phones and stuff.
Yeah, it's
It
silly.
was so lame. The thing that is so interesting about this too is like obviously Netflix is making a move here. Like they paid a lot of money for the rights to the NFL Christmas Day games, and I know like football is synonymous with Thanksgiving in the U.S. and I think they're trying to make some like tradition happen with like Christmas Day. And from what I saw on social, a lot of like NBA fans were like freaking out over this because I know NBA Christmas Day games are a big deal and they make it like a big moment in the season. Apparently the like broadcast is like 13 hours long or something.
The
It's
NFL
nuts.
broadcast?
No, the NBA broadcast.
Oh, yeah.
The NFL broadcast is only 2 games, while the NBA is like 8 games or something. So it's interesting to see that. I also saw that the NBA, since this Netflix announcement, they announced that they're going to be doing Christmas Day games with a Disney Mickey Mouse takeover, which
Let's go.
cute, but it's not Beyonce.
I know. Like, if you're going to pick, I feel like most people are going to pick Beyonce.
Yeah. Wasn't there some sort of NFL game where they did a Toy Story takeover?
There was some sort of like, I don't know if it was AI or just AR, but you could either watch the game in like real life, like the real version, or I think it was on Amazon maybe,
Yeah, that sounds right.
or it might have been on Disney, but you could watch it in real time, but there was like an effect applied where it looked like they were like Disney or Toy Story characters playing the football game.
I think that's what they're going to do for the NBA game. So they're
It's
going
going to
to
be
do
just
like
all Mickey Mouse characters.
Disney, like Toontown, like Donald Duck and Goofy, like doing the game.
I want
so
to see
it'll just
Goofy
be-
throw a Hail Mary for show. Or I guess it's NBA. Never mind.
NBA. So like a 3-pointer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's Steph Curry going to be?
I don't know. I don't know if like characters will be assigned to players. I don't know how that will be,
Yeah.
but
It's wishful thinking.
yeah, apparently the Toy Story one is like super popular.
It was actually
So-
well done, I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what's crazy when I think about that is someone who's like an NBA fan, is he going to turn on the Disney version of the game so his family can watch it with him?
I think yes.
That's
If it was football, for me, if that was a way for me to get like our kids a little bit more stoked about the sports that I like to watch and want to have on the TV instead of them streaming on Disney, like watching their show,
Yeah. You
then
would do
I would switch over to that for sure.
interesting.
Because I still get the gist of the game, but they're like, "Whoa, Mickey
But you don't
Mouse."
feel like you're sacrificing the experience of watching the game?
To an extent, but like
Yeah.
pros and cons.
That's
Family
really
friendly.
nice.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll see how that all turns out. Obviously, we'll be watching the NBA game, or sorry, the NFL game.
Yeah, but I mean, maybe we experience a bit of both.
Yeah, that'd be cute.
I think It's interesting. I think we are going to start to see a little bit more competition for holidays with sports. Because I've also been hearing, and I don't know how real it becomes, but a lot of people have been speculating that the NFL might try to make the Super Bowl later, like make the season even a little bit longer than it is, maybe add a bye week, an extra bye week for the teams, so that they end up with a Super Bowl on President's Day weekend, so that the day after the Super Bowl every year is a stat holiday. Because so many people are like, oh, like it sucks to have the Super Bowl party and then have to go to work the next day. So, but there's only so many U.S. holidays, and there's more leagues than just the NFL. And so if that ends up being a strategic thing that increases viewership and stuff like that, we might see a bit of healthy competition.
I want to see if President's Day in the U.S. is a holiday for us in Canada.
I don't think it is. That would be nice, though.
Yeah.
Maybe it needs to become one.
It's February 17th, which is not a holiday.
Yep.
Well, we have Family Day. Sorry.
Might depend on the province, but
Family Day, February 17th.
Are you serious?
Hey.
Let's go. All right,
Well,
petition.
it's not happening this year.
Yeah,
so.
petition to make the Super Bowl President's Day weekend. And
Yeah,
I'm here
honestly,
for a longer season.
And give the players a break. Like, they're all literally getting so injured, like breaking their back, playing through like sprains and broken ribs. Like, they should get a break.
Yeah, I think players would be down for it if it meant an extra bye week. Because right now, every team gets one bye week through the regular season. So if that meant like extend the regular season by a week, but through extra bye weeks, I feel like all the players would be pretty excited about that.
Yeah, I think it's great. Speaking of NFL players, one of my favorite retired players ever, Jason Kelce, is getting a new late night show on ESPN, which I'm so happy for. I love Jason Kelce.
I know.
He's such a good guy.
I keep seeing him get in like weird altercations with fans, though. Like,
I think people are provoking him because of that one time.
You think so?
Yeah.
It like encouraged more?
Yeah, I saw another one. People are just like trying to get him to like do something, which...
For a payday.
Yeah, that sucks. But this late night show is going to be filmed in Philadelphia. It's also a partnership with NFL Films, which I love because they do such a good job with their movies and all that. So production level will be good. And he's filming it with a live audience on, what is it?
Monday nights, I think.
Monday nights.
Or Friday nights.
It's postseason and going into the playoffs.
Yeah, it's 5 weeks starting in January.
And they're filming it at 1 a.m.
Whoa, really?
Live.
Why 1 a.m.?
1 a.m. Eastern.
That's wild.
Philadelphia time. I know, that's so late. I guess, is that like when late night shows film? Because that's crazy.
1 a.m. Eastern would be 11 p.m. Mountain, which is us, and then 10 p.m. PST. So
yeah, makes sense.
It still feels like it should be earlier. Like, why not make it like 8 o'clock PST?
Because then LA time would be like late night doesn't start at 9.
Why not?
I don't know. This just doesn't feel like 9 p.m. is like, I would call it late night.
Yeah. And the name they call it late night is a play on NFL film from like the 1970s they call it Pro Football.
Yeah. So I'm excited for Jason Kelce. He's going to have lots of guests come through, and I just love to see him do more stuff.
I'm just trying to see if it's on Mondays.
Cool.
Starts January 4th, 5 consecutive weekends during the NFL playoffs. I'm not seeing what day it is, but...
Yeah. Also, Hard Knocks, my favorite NFL reality show, announced their new season, and they're going to be taking viewers behind the scene of the AFC North.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting because I think this is the third year where they've done in-season Hard Knocks. Usually it historically has just been preseason. I know one of the in-season ones was with my team, the Colts. One was with the Dolphins. But now it's interesting to see them expanding from one team to a whole division. I think it'll be cool. But it also probably means you don't get as deep with an individual team. But what you do get is the rivalries.
Right.
And the AFC North is it AFC North or NFC North?
AFC North.
Okay.
What is the AFC North?
It's one of the divisions.
But what does it stand for?
American Football Conference.
North. And that's the northern teams?
Of the AFC. AFC is so there's two conferences like in the NBA, AFC and NFC.
Okay.
And then within each conference, there's multiple divisions. So like north, south, west, east. So
Gotcha.
AFC North, AFC South, AFC
And they're all
West.
competing to be the best in that division, so they can compete against the best in the other division, so they can go to Super Bowl.
If you win your division, then you clinch a playoff spot.
Yeah.
If you're not the leader in your division, then you have to fight for your playoff
So who are
spot.
the teams in that division? Do you know?
Not off the top of my head, no.
Cool. Well, yeah, I'm excited for Hard Knocks. Hard Knocks is what turned me into a football fan. If you're new here, they did a season with the New York Jets, RIP.
And the Lions. I feel like it started
yeah.
for you with the Lions, and then the Jets one kind of
Campbell.
solidified it.
Yeah, so it started with the Lions, which they're doing amazing this year. We've already
They're
talked
the
about
best team in the league.
Love to see it go all the way. Dan Campbell.
I think the Chiefs have a better record, but they've fluked their way
Yeah,
to
I
a
love
better
to see it.
record.
And then they did the Jets, which got me like really invested in Aaron Rodgers and like him coming to the Jets, which has turned out horribly. Like I feel like it's so. The other day, actually, yesterday on my lunch time, I was like eating at my desk as I usually do, and I Googled on my own, unprompted, is Aaron Rodgers going to play for the Jets next season? Because I was like, it's so bad. I genuinely feel concerned for his career and his legacy. Like, it's not good.
Yeah, it's not good. I'm so curious. I don't think he'll play for the Jets, but that begs the question, will he try to slug it out and go to another team and try to win? Or is he just going to like accept his fate and just
I feel
retire?
like he has a bad reputation, even for like, bandwagon fans like me. Like,
Yeah, but this is the NFL. They want to make money. Aaron Rodgers draws media attention, which means he gets fan attention. He's also been an NFL MVP. So any QB needy team would be tempted.
I feel like he must be having the worst year of his life because two of his big exes, like his most prominent exes, Olivia Munn and Shailene Woodley, are both thriving in their new relationships and their new families. He's having the worst season of his career. Like his boys that he brought to the team are getting fired. Like it's just a bad year to be Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, it is. And I don't think he thinks it's his fault.
So
far, the head coach got
thing.
fired. The offensive coordinator got demoted from play calling. And now, just this last week, their GM got fired.
Yeah, and Olivia Munn is married to John Mulaney, and they have 2 kids, and she was Woman of the Year, Glamour's Woman of the Year. And Shailene Woodley, isn't she also dating a football player now?
I don't know.
Do you know who she is?
I don't keep track. Yeah.
She's dating someone. She's dating like I want to say Josh. A Josh
Josh out there.
in
One
NFL.
of the Joshes.
Do you know? I feel like he's a quarterback. I feel like he just won like a big game against Kansas City. Who's a quarterback?
Josh Allen?
Yeah.
Really? I didn't think he was dating her, but I could be wrong.
I don't know. We'll confirm. Josh sounds right.
He's got like an interesting track record with his relationships as well. NFL quarterbacks, man.
Yeah. Well,
Do we want to go to thing 2?
probably.
I feel like I got a lot to say about thing 2.
Oh, no. Josh Allen, just to clarify, is dating Haley Steinfeld, who did not date Aaron Rodgers.
Correct.
The other thing that's unfortunate about Aaron Rodgers is he doesn't talk to his family.
Yeah.
So it's a rough year for Aaron Rodgers.
Dude needs to retire and just like reshuffle his priorities
Yeah.
and rekindle things with his family and find a wife.
Yeah.
Have a kid.
Learn from Tom Brady's mistakes. Okay, let's move on to the next big thing.
Jaguar and Volvo make us cry for 2 very different reasons. I think we're mostly going to talk about Jaguar here, but 2 car brands launched new campaigns. Really 3 car brands launched new campaigns this week, but
Not this week.
the big one getting the headlines is Jaguar. The company's promotional video posted on X and Instagram shows models dressed in futuristic, brightly colored outfits, walking in an alien-like landscape. Phrases including like live vivid, break molds, delete ordinary, and copy nothing appear on screen as the figures pose next to pink rocks.
You got to see it. Like, if you haven't seen this ad, like, go and Google it and find it. It's, like, so hard to explain in words. It's just something to look at.
Yeah, and of course the brand's new logo appears on screen, which even the logo, outside of everything else, I felt like the logo was strange. One, when you zoom out and like you view it in like a small context, it's kind of hard to read.
Mm-hmm.
But then two, if you actually look at each letter, some of them are lowercase and some of them are uppercase. They're all the same size, but the J, A are lowercase, the G and U are uppercase. I guess you could argue about the U, but then the AR at the end are lowercase.
You're really taking the copy nothing slogan too far.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, there's so much we can say about this new rebrand. If we're isolating the logo, like it's almost impossible to get a new logo perfect, you know, especially for such an old brand. Like you can't please everyone. So I feel like logos on their own, I kind of like don't pay much attention to, but in their like environment that they're like their new promo videos or on the car, I feel like that's when you can start to really see if it's makes sense.
Yeah, and we've seen this before with automakers. Like Kia did a rebrand and a new word mark a few years ago, and it received a lot of criticism because people felt like it wasn't that readable. But I think there's more to this story. And when you say you can't please everyone, I think that's like a big part of what the moral to the story is. But it got over 90 million views online in the first few days, and instant brutal backlash from the internet. On X, numerous viewers mocked the advertisement, pointing out that no cars featured in the video. And Elon even, I think it was just yesterday, trolled them saying, "Are you a car company?" Which I thought was funny. Another person said, "What a joke." But it felt deeper than just an ugly rebrand. And I think that's what we're trying to move towards as we talk about this story. Another fan said it really well. They said, "Whoever agreed to this needs to know that they've just killed a British icon." And it's true. It literally feels like they've wiped out a century of heritage.
Yeah.
Some other comments on Instagram. Jaguar once stood as a timeless icon of tradition, class, and values. Today, it feels like they've traded heritage for hollow marketing. A brand that forgets its roots loses its soul. Where is the elegance and strength that defined the Jaguar spirit? This has to be from someone who drives a Jaguar. I feel like it's like deep for them.
Yeah.
Another person said, "Fire your whole marketing team for this." And then someone else said, "This is just sad. You really did kill the cat."
I know.
That's
Both those comments have more than 3,000 likes, which that's tough.
We were talking at the beginning of the show how we like, or actually this was before the show, but we were talking about how we like Land Rover, and that's actually part of the Jaguar family. But I agree with some of these comments. I don't want to just like pile on or get on the bandwagon of criticism, but the more I think about it, the more frustrated I feel. Just because it does feel like they just wiped out their history, which no matter how you slice it or spin it, it just seems like a terrible mistake. Because they really have been an icon in automaking for nearly 100 years. I think they put out their first car in like 1935 or something like that. And they've really been heralded over the years for incredible design and products. Like their E-Type was called the most beautiful car ever made. The F-Type was considered a modern masterpiece. And really people have described these as like modern art over the decades.
Yeah.
But I will say that the rebrand itself isn't surprising because specifically since like 2020 or 2021, you could feel the winds of change with like Tesla becoming a big thing, electrical vehicles in general, also more regulations in the space, like regulations around emissions, and then even with customers, more of a concern over the environment and climate change and things like that.
Yeah. And as a brand or as a company, they haven't been doing well.
No.
I saw a TikTok like analyzing like decisions. I can see why they decided to rebrand. I just don't like this new rebrand. It doesn't feel like it's hitting well with anyone. So when you're doing so poorly as a company, I think in like last year they only sold like 600 cars or something, which isn't that many in the like when you think about like how much inventory you have. So I think they're at a place as a brand where like everything can be like discussed and nothing is on the table. Like everything can be changed. And I think it's clearly a desperate move to kind of like restart the whole company. And they deleted all their posts.
Yeah, it's like it literally is in essence a reset,
Yeah.
which just seems shocking. Sometime in the last couple of years, I don't remember the actual date, but they said that they were going to be all electric by 2025, which is a couple months from now. So I think this rebrand and the timing of it is obviously part of the play away from the types of cars that they manufactured before into EVs. And you can see it in the vibe of the rebrand. But I think their mistake is that in their effort to reach a new audience that cares about the environment and wants EVs and is willing to pay a luxury price tag for it, they are alienating their current customer base.
For sure, yeah.
So,
and it's
that's
not
wild.
an easy task.
Yeah.
It's not an easy task. It's just like, this was not it.
No.
Yeah, it's crazy. On the other side of the coin, should we talk about Volvo?
Sure, let's talk about it.
Yeah, so they launched a campaign that won the internet this week. They tapped cinematographer Hoyt van Hoytema.
What a name.
That's how you say it. He worked with Christopher Nolan flicks like Oppenheimer, and Interstellar. They did an emotional 3-minute ad for their new electric SUV. And it's beautiful. It made me ugly cry at my desk. I was not prepared for the emotional roller coaster. If you haven't seen it, you got to go find it. It's worth your time to see it.
We'll link it in the show notes.
Yeah, we should definitely link it in the show notes. But what was interesting to me is that it originally aired back in September, but it's getting a ton of attention right now because the marketing director of McDonald's, his name is, can't say his name. He tweeted it and he said, Volvo posted a 3-minute and 46-second ad on Instagram shot by Hoyt van Hoytema, the cinematographer of Interstellar and Oppenheimer. It goes against every single rule you can think of as a social lead. Length, format, overproduced. And every comment under it said that they are now part of the consideration group for Volvo. So this ad just like you said, kind of like breaks all the rules, but somehow still worked. I want to read some of the comments under the ad on Instagram just to contrast it against what we saw on Jaguar. So some people said, this is the best commercial I have ever seen. Best thing about this ad is that it speaks to the reality of life. No need to add anything weird. I love it. Didn't think I'd have a morning cry over a car ad, but here we are. Bravo. Dear Jaguar, 1, watch. 2, learn. That one's so savage. In a year of headlines in the creative world dominated by the rise of AI, it fills my heart with joy to see such craft playing out in front of me. This is the ad of the year by a mile. Thank you to everyone involved, and thank you to everyone at Volvo for showing exactly how these things can be done with trust in your creative team. Literally the exact opposite of what people were commenting on Jaguar.
Yeah, and now you want a Volvo.
I want a Volvo. This is the ad that changed things for me. Like, it's such compelling advertising. And one thing that I found was so interesting about this ad and my experience with this ad is, like, every time I see advertising, I think about the teams involved because I'm part of teams that do advertising. We try our best to do great marketing. And I think when you get into marketing, there's like basic principles you learn. Like, marketing is brand connecting to a target audience to inspire action. And so the connection piece, like as marketing, once we start working, whether it's social design or anything else, it's what we're all trying to do is like connect and create movement. And I think after some time, that concepts kind of gets like convoluted. It turns like from, instead of trying to connect with an audience, it turns to convert an audience or to engage an audience. And those things aren't necessarily bad, but we lost the connection piece. And I think this ad really brings us back to like some of those initial principles. It's just like inspiring you in a way and making you feel stuff. And like feeling stuff really does bring connection to brands. So it just took me on a roller coaster, but I'm so glad for it.
I'm so glad too. And I think the interesting thing is that they're doing electric vehicles too, but they didn't abandon their values or what their customers know them to be. They built on it.
Yeah.
I think I was going to say this about Jaguar, and I think it is only proven by this Volvo advertisement, but I really feel like today's successful brands are built through 1, real connections, 2, consistent values and trust, and then 3, an authentic story. And I think we saw all those things exhibited in this advertisement, and that's why it was so compelling. But we also saw ourselves in it.
Yes.
It was about a growing family, and like that's what
And
we're
safety.
experiencing right now.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. And just real human feelings and concerns and emotions and pressures and stuff like that. So where this Jaguar rebrand and the creative that came with it felt like really futuristic and visually interesting, it lacked the depth and the authentic story and the history that this auto company has been built on. And that's where they're missing.
Yeah. Which is, again, not easy to do, but somehow this 3-minute ad just nailed it.
Yeah.
Incredible work.
And then honorable mention was the Porsche collab with Aimé Leon Dore. I think it's not as deep as the Volvo story or the Jaguar story, but I think one thing they did well when they released it was really embodying the historical, like deep kind of heritage elements of Porsche. And it also just felt like great brand alignment because Aimé Leon Dore, even though it's a newer brand in this grand scheme of things, it's been around for a while. But they did a great job of kind of amalgamating their brand with the deep history and the true like visual elements of Porsche and just the feeling of that you perceive around driving a Porsche and the lifestyle that comes with that. So
yeah,
another win. Another one that makes Jaguar look kind
that ad
of
was
bad.
definitely cool. I think it's like a little less relatable than the Volvo one, but it was for sure cool. And yeah, so the thing that I thought was interesting when I first saw that they did a collab, I was like, what are they selling? But then I watched the ad and you can see there's literally, they collabed on the car and the jacket.
Yeah, there's some really cool elements in this car, but I feel like the car itself is a one-off. I could be wrong on that. It might just be like kind of the nucleus of the campaign, but then there's a whole line of apparel from jackets to hats and scarves and like driving gloves and things like that.
Driving gloves.
And it released this morning and it's all sold out already.
Wow.
So I know because a friend of ours recently got an old Porsche and he was hoping to grab a hat, but he missed out.
Dang.
Yeah, but that's the story of the automakers for today. Do you want to take us into thing 3?
Big thing 3 is Smirnoff names Troye Sivan its chief vibes officer. Smirnoff kicked off a multi-year partnership with Troye Sivan, putting the Grammy-nominated pop star in charge of keeping its vibes immaculate. The collaboration kicked off with an ad in which Sivan gives a press conference to announce his new role as chief vibes officer. He's wearing sunglasses and he's like sipping a cocktail, and he explains that his job is real and that he even got business cards and that his mission is to see everyone go off. Smirnoff is sponsoring Troye Sivan's Australia and New Zealand tour, which will feature exclusive after parties in Sydney and Melbourne. And the partnership will also be activated across social, out of home, digital, and store, and event platforms in more than 20 countries. So I love this so much. I think it's so cheesy when brands come out with like a celebrity chief like creative director or chief taste director. Like I just think it's like a silly way to integrate a celebrity or get a celebrity endorsement for marketing's sake. So I loved this one because it was so unserious. Like obviously it's not a real job, and obviously it's just like a great brand partnership between an awesome celebrity that fits the target demo of Smirnoff. So it's great. I was thinking back to some of like other stunts like this that I feel like I just didn't quite like because it took it too seriously. Like, for example, this might be a hot take, by the way, but Lady Gaga was the chief creative director for Polaroid. And yes, she did come out with like a few products for Polaroid. And then they had to like announce that they parted ways too. And I just felt like the whole campaign around it and the delivery of it was too serious. Like obviously she's not doing the work of the brand's creative department. You know, she's not actually being the creative director. So I just felt it was too serious for what they were actually doing. Another one was when Jennifer Aniston was appointed chief creative officer at Vital Proteins, which again, like Jennifer Aniston's like a working actress. She's not like working with the art
not in the
department.
office.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like it was just kind of like why'd they have to take it so far? Couldn't they just say like, we have a new line of great protein products? You know, it's just like
Or just
going.
do some sponsored content.
Yeah, and maybe you are investing in the company or something like that, but like it doesn't have to be like a in-house role. Like I just felt it was too far.
I think
So I like this.
Yeah, I think some have done it well, even though it was serious. Like, I actually feel like the Ronnie Feig as the creative director with the New York Knicks has gone really well.
But he's a creative. He's like not necessarily like
Just a celebrity.
Yeah.
Totally. That makes sense. Because we've also seen other teams try to do similar things. I think the Cleveland Cavaliers engaged an artist named Daniel Arsham to be their creative director, which he is a creative, yes, but he's more of like I feel like he's more of a celebrity than Ronnie Feig is. And I feel like that's just kind of fallen flat.
I don't even know who that is.
He's a big artist.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I think my initial reaction to this one with Troye Sivan, I felt like it was corny. But listen to you talk about it, I feel like you're bang on in the sense that they kind of like made it parody. Mm-hmm. And that's where it works. Because my initial reaction was like, Chief Vibes Officer. Like that reminds me of like branding agencies in 2019 that were like marketing mavens and like chief coloring book officer and like stuff like that. That was just like an absolute miss. But you're right.
When Kim Kardashian, she was the chief taste officer for Beyond Meat. Right. And like it's unserious in the way where you're in on it. But I think this one was executed even better because when Troye Sivan says chief vibes officer, he says it like unserious and unbothered. Right. If I say that, I'm like lame and like elder millennial. Like I'm like an aging grandma. So like it's different. Like the way he delivers it kind of just makes it work.
And I thought his delivery of like, I just want to see people go off was perfect.
Like if I said that, ruin the whole campaign.
I like the tie-in of go off with Smirnoff. Like I think that's just a fun, witty thing that they're doing. And we also know, we've talked about this on the show before, that a lot of the Gen Z generation or audience are slowly moving away from drinking alcohol. So I think it's a smart strategic play for an alcohol company to engage a Gen Z artist and take it less seriously to make Smirnoff more relevant for a different group of people.
Yes, that's the other alignment that I really like for this one because they're sponsoring after parties for his shows and his music is like it's not like mellow, it's like poppy and fun and like unserious, you know? So I like, it's such a good alignment with like the product that they're selling. While something like Lady Gaga and Polaroid, just like, it's a stretch. Yeah. You know, it's not like it's not a natural fit.
Yeah. You just feel like the mandate was get a celebrity and launch a campaign. And they just like forced a round peg into a square hole to make it happen.
Yeah.
But this one feels well executed. And the fact that it's a joke too, I feel like leans into people's perceptions around Smirnoff, especially Smirnoff Ice. Because like I haven't seen Smirnoff at a party unless it was a joke since I was like 19 years old.
Totally. And people ice each other all the time. Like, get in on it.
Yeah.
Like maybe he'll get iced at a show or something.
Yeah. So I started out kind of cold on this one, but I've warmed up a lot, even just through the course of this conversation.
The other update I wanted to share is Domingo, my favorite person on the internet, made waves last week because he was on SNL again. They did a follow-up skit to his last one that went viral. This one, it was with Charlie XCX. And they did like a parody to her song Hot to Go. It was great, brilliant. I loved it. Like, give me more. I just want more Domingo. And then he showed up at Sabrina Carpenter's LA show. And in her show, she does this bit where like she finds like a cute guy in the crowd and she like arrests
Supposed to be like an awkward guy, right?
Well, the clips that I've seen, like they're like flushed and bothered. Like they're just kind of like, I can't believe it. And they like zoom in on his face and he's like interacting with her and she's like, you're so hot, I'm going to have to arrest you. And then she gets someone like security to hand them like a fuzzy handcuff or something. Yeah. So she was looking for the guy in the crowd, and it was Domingo, and it was Marcelo Hernandez dressed as Domingo in LA. But it was so funny because the original skit was to her song. So I loved it. Couldn't get enough of it. My whole TikTok was different angles of this one moment at her concert.
Yeah.
And I just can't get enough. I just need more Domingo in my life.
I feel like when you started talking about this, you almost said Duolingo.
I know.
So to that point, I almost feel like there's an opportunity here for Domingo to do something with Duolingo.
Yeah.
Imagine if he was the owl mascot and then they did a piece of content and then he took off the owl helmet and it was Domingo.
Right.
I don't know.
He should be their chief dance officer.
Yeah.
Or something better than that.
Chief bilingual officer.
Yeah. I love Domingo. Well, in the skit for SNL with Charlie XCX, in the song, they said she's spending all her time on Duolingo because she's trying to learn Spanish to be with Domingo. So
Nice.
I'm into it.
Yes, come on, Duolingo.
Yeah.
Tap in.
Go ahead. It's a free idea. I would love to see that.
Man. I'm not a big fan of Sabrina Carpenter's music, but
I love her music. Sometimes I think she's very talented, but sometimes she gives industry plant because literally every Spotify playlist I play, the next song is espresso. It's it starts off with cool new R&B song, and then it's espresso. And then every time I'm trying to post a reel on Instagram, it's do you want to use espresso? Or do you want to use any other Sabrina Carpenter song? It's
it's getting boosted a bit.
Yeah, it's getting a lot of attention.
Not to discredit her abilities.
No.
And I feel like she's really leaned into her persona well and she's just killing it. But it's just not my taste, which is fine because I'm not the audience.
Yeah,
I'm
it's not for you.
Not looking for a fuzzy pair of handcuffs from someone else.
Exactly. And
if you want to bring some, we can talk.
No. I hope you're not watching her concert footage like I am. It's just, yeah.
Just when you show it to me.
Nice.
Yeah.
No, I do like her. I do like her stuff. And so far, I feel like I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. It's someone's giving me more Sabrina Carpenter, and I'm sure, I'll take it.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather listen to Chapel Roan.
Nice.
Yeah.
She has, actually, Sabrina Carpenter has a new Christmas special coming out.
I'll listen to that.
On Netflix.
I'm here for all the Christmas content.
And
all
she's
the
going to
Christmas
have
music.
Chapel Roan on it.
Let's go. It's going to be the
Yeah.
best Christmas yet.
I'm ready.
Well, everybody, thanks for watching. Subscribe on YouTube. Make sure you find us on Instagram and enjoy the clips and let us know. Send us a DM. Let us know what you're liking, what you're not liking, what you'd like to see more of, any ideas you have for how we can grow the show. This is episode 10.
Yeah.
Which feels like an accomplishment. I just randomly saw some stats on Twitter recently, excuse me, that if you make it past 10 episodes, you're in the top 15% of podcasters.
Love it.
So this is just the beginning, but already we're the upper echelon just because we lasted.
If you listen to this fully and you're listening right now on YouTube, please give this video a thumbs up. It does actually make a huge difference in the ranking of YouTube videos, and it would mean a lot to us. This is a part of our podcast journey that we could use some external validation. So please leave a comment.
If you're not watching on YouTube, leave us a review on Apple or Spotify. And I think you can leave comments on Spotify too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
But I'm ringing this gong for all of you who are leaving us a thumbs up. Thank you very much.
That was a confident gong.
It was more aggressive.
You made up for it since you forgot it last time.
I know. Lest we forget. Never again.
Forget.